All right, so we'll call the meeting to order, and I guess we'll have a roll call.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Shuffling.
Billy Beal, Rob Cortell, Jackie Davis,
Here,
Joel Griffin,
Here.
Jeff Sabursky.
Here.
All right, that is a quorum.
do we have any public involvement? Sarah, do we have anything or?
No, we do not.
Okay, the next thing that we have on the agenda is the approval of our June 12th minutes. Do I have a motion or anybody have any, I guess, do we have any motion to approve them?
I'd move approval, Jackie.
Do I have a second? Can I second them? Or does Joel need to do it?
I can second.
Are there any questions? Anybody have any comments, concerns about the minutes? Are we okay? And all in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, the next thing on the agenda is the King George County Cyber Assessments to Small Medium Enterprises Planning Grant. Sarah, Ian, I'm not sure who.
We'll let John and Nick kind of kick us off there.
Thanks, Ian and Jackie. It's John Holden. I think some of you know me, but as I was departing Stafford, I started working with Germana and Simventions about the need for cyber assessments for small, medium enterprises in the region, in the state, not the nation. Simventions has an assessment tool, and so we thought of a way that we could provide some internships for Germana students, actually doing some assessments, but also do a market assessment of the need for those. The challenge being, how does a small business actually pay for a cyber assessment? Do they know the value, et cetera? So this project does both. It provides an internship opportunity for students from Germana and also Rappahannock Community College. At the last minute, we've brought them in. They may not, we're clearing up some paperwork here, but, and so we're going to do 10 assessments in the region, focused on small to medium enterprises, focused primarily in the nonprofit health world, but not exclusively, so that we can get 10. We will learn from those assessments. We will have interns learning. We'll also learn from the companies, what they saw the value of, what they didn't. The end of the project is it's a capacity planning project. So it'll be a market assessment report of what we learned, what the interns learned, how valuable it was to them, but also more importantly about the market. And is there opportunities for either an entrepreneur or some other types of companies to do these assessments as a business from the region. So I'll stop there and I'll let Nick chime in. I know, Nick, maybe you can comment on Rappahannock Community College as well as a partner or other things.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, John. And it's nice to be with you guys here this morning. King George involvement on this is strictly, looking at the workforce needs of King George County as well as the region. We need more cybersecurity professionals, and we thought partnering with John, Simventions, and the other cybersecurity companies that may participate in this project is just a way for us to build our workforce here internally. King George is, benefits from being smack dab in the middle of both community college service territories. So I think this works out perfectly just for us and also for this project, and the fact that we can collaborate with both community colleges and bring them together. And hopefully we can pull out some King George County residents out of that to work on this cybersecurity assessment with Simventions and our other partners. So we truly see the value in working with John and on this project, just to sort of build capacity and help identify some issues for these nonprofit clinics. And with that, I'm happy to take questions from the
Likewise.
yeah.
Jeff was on the whatever that's called, the interview
The pre-assessment or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Jeff and Jan were both on the work group call, so.
Yeah, and I think we've reviewed it. I think it was last Wednesday, and I think ask Sarah as far as all the compliance boxes are checked as far as a Go Virginia grant request, and they were. And I think I do think it's nice in that it piggybacks the existing cyber assessment that they're working on, is really finding real world experience for those folks to come out and be part of an actual true assessment.
It looks like a good project. Is there any other comments? Joel, do you have?
No, I'll just add before, if Joel has any questions, I'll just add from our perspective, I think that it's a really unique approach to work-based learning opportunities. We're really excited that Germanna and RCC are on the project. I think we see a ton of potential for this in the future as kind of a long-term work-based learning tool for the whole region. I think one of the things that I'll just say, a clarifying point, I mentioned this in the email to you guys. There was a concern because we were going to be working with healthcare SMEs. Healthcare is not covered by Go Virginia, but it is a workforce project for cybersecurity technically, so that's not an issue. We've talked with our local rep, Annie at DHCD, and they seem fine with the project. So just want to clear that up. But yeah, again, we think it's a really unique approach to work-based learning and are excited about it.
And at the meeting on Wednesday, we did have discussions on, even though it was like you were saying, Ian, healthcare initially focused, the cyber assessments are really industry agnostic. They're that as far as a training ground, it just happens to start there, but it can go anywhere as far as a seed.
Are there any other questions?
I just wanted to go on record and say that this is the kind of program that we need to have, where we have our state government, our local community college, our local businesses, and our local economic development authorities all collaborating, because cybersecurity is one of our nation's largest underserved job markets. It's also one of our highest issues for national security, thousands and thousands of jobs. So we have people who can have high paying jobs, but who can't get into this market for whatever reason. And this is exactly the kind of program that would break down some of those barriers. So kudos for John and Nick for putting this together as always. And I'd say let's keep marching forward.
All right, with that being said, do I have a motion to approve this project?
I'd make that motion, Jackie.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. So I guess that passes. The next thing on the agenda, some updates, Ian.
Yeah, I mean, really just very brief. I think kind of getting to the financials, we shared that report with you all. I'll actually try to send you a more detailed email. But including this project, we basically have 4 projects in the pipeline we're looking to approve by the end of the year. So one is the aquaculture workforce project. We had that presentation at the last regional council meeting. We're looking to partner with the Hampton Roads region on this. So Virginia Tech will be leading the charge. It's either going to be their Newport News Center or the AREC in the Hampton Roads area. So we see that as a really good opportunity. We have a lot in common with the Eastern Shore, especially as it pertains to aquaculture. So we see that as a major opportunity to really institutionalize an educational program for aquaculture, very important for the Northern Neck and Middle Peninsula. And we don't really have RCC is kind of taking a step back. We don't really have any folks who are kind of leading the charge on aquaculture workforce development. So we're hoping that this project does that. RCC diesel mechanic program, that's basically just expanding their diesel mechanic program at the Glens campus. They have a warehouse that they're going to be moving some of the equipment from the New Kent campus and then expanding their reach there. So that's a pretty large project. We've been talking to them for quite some time. We've had a few studies that have identified the need for a diesel mechanic program. We have another Jason Learning project on entrepreneurship. I know that King George has endorsed the project, but it's basically to create, we've been talking about this too, a curriculum to institutionalize entrepreneurship in the K through 12 system. And this is something that all the local school districts will be able to adopt after it's developed for free. And in this project, so that'll put us, that's with the FRA, entrepreneurship project, which we're pretty sure is going to get approved tomorrow at the state board meeting. That'll put us a little over $1 million for the year. So we won't have a ton of money to work with going into next year. Kind of on that point, one of the things that we were hoping is that in the state budget, the money that was initially allocated during the regular session for the Talent Pathways Initiative, that money did not stay there in the state budget. So Jackie and her team, and I see Mason on the call, they've been leading the charge and the TPI project, which I think will still benefit a lot from, but we're really hoping that this project would kind of be the initiator to that larger pot of money. So we're hoping next legislative session, it's in there, but currently it did not stay in there. That is pretty much all I have.
All right. So, with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All right, thank you.
Thank you all so much. Thanks,
Thank you
Thanks,
very
everyone.
everybody.
much.
Have a good
Good to
one.
see you, John.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jackie.
Bye, thank you.
Bye.